Hi. This exercise is to stretch the front of the hip and thigh musculature, right? So when we have chronic pain or dysfunctions in the hip, the anterior part of the groin here, where the capsule is, the hip joint itself, the leg muscle bone comes up here, takes a little angle, and then that ball goes into the socket right about at the middle of your groin in the hip here. So hip pain tends to refer to this groin area classically. Hip pain out here could be from other things in the back and the sacrum or the pelvis, but often the hip problem here can perpetuate itself when there's sensitivity issues. So whether you had a trauma, a fracture, or a surgery, we tend to keep this bunched up and in a seated position when we're recovering, but then this area gets kind of bound down and locked into a perception that it's always on tension. So when I go to walk and I have my skin grabbed here, I have a tendency to kind of go around that hip. So I want to release this anterior capsule, but I also want to incorporate the musculature that comes down the thigh, as well as some of the muscles that come off the spine and go across the hip. So a really good stretch is to have a hanging stretch, and this is something you would do every evening and in morning when you're on the side of your bed. So imagine this is my side of the bed. I'm going to grab onto my left leg. In this case, I'm going to stretch my right leg by grabbing onto the left, wrapping around my knee. I'm going to hug that to my back and try to keep this back rounded as I lie back on my bed. The hanging leg over here, right leg, is the stretch. So what I'm going to do is just let it hang, keep this leg pulled up to my chest to keep my back flat, and try to keep the stretch or strain out of my back, and just have my right leg hanging and stretching. If that's not enough, I can always take my right foot and reach it towards the floor. So I'm going to let it hang on its own way, but then I'm going to reach a little extra right there on my right knee and really reach for the floor and get that extra stretch by activating my butt muscle. So I'm kind of squeezing my butt, pushing my foot to the floor like I'm kicking backwards, and relax. Now to switch, you never ever drop the leg like this and go to switch, because that's going to hurt your back. Always hold this leg, bring up the other leg next door, grab onto that knee, hold that close to your body, and let the other leg hang back down now. So now I've got this left side being stretched. I'm keeping the right knee up to my chest to protect my back. So from here, I let that hang, or I take an extra effort and reach that foot to the floor a little bit. So squeeze my butt muscle here and kind of pushing the hip forward, but my knee's going backwards. So I'm kind of doing this little backward kick or reach towards the floor, and I really feel a lot of stretch going down that thigh. When I'm done, I'm never going to drop that leg and try to sit up, because that's going to pinch the back. I have this leg in my hand. I have my right leg up, so in this case I'm going to roll to my left side holding that leg, and now I have my elbow into the bed where I can push with my arm and come up and protect my spine. So how you get out of this stretch is very important. If you drop both legs and sit up, you're going to hurt your back. So make sure you bring the leg up, let it hang. When you switch, you bring the other leg up next door, drop the other leg to keep your back protected. When you go to get up, you hold onto that leg, roll to the side with it, and then can kind of do a little elbow push into the bed and a little momentum to come up slow on a diagonal. So that's the Thomas stretch, or the thigh stretch, or hip flexor stretch, all the above. So you're going to hold those stretches for about 20 to 30 seconds. Every time you walk by the bed, if you're going to go use the master bathroom or something, you have an opportunity to do the stretch. The more the better. The looser you are in these hips, and the more those structures can tolerate being stretched, then the less they're going to send messages as you're walking and trying to take bigger steps. If that leg can't trail behind, then what will happen is we tend to walk as if we're holding the walker all the time, and these never quite get recalibrated to become normal again. So this is a very important stretch for overall function with walking and helping with balance as well. All right, hope that helps. Good luck. But anytime you're going to go into bed or get out of the bed or making the bed, there's your opportunity. So at least in those times of the day, employ that into your routine. All right, good luck. Hope that helps.